Alright, we are going to start demoing just a little bit of painting for our Quadrant color scheme project. I'm going to start with the realistic color scheme, just kind of try and keep this normal. I'm going to start with and just do kind of a flat wash to get my basic color on there. So by flat wash, I mean that I'm just going to do one color for the whole part of it. Always have 2 cups of water, one for rinsing and one for mixing, and got our tissues here to dry our brush on as well. So I'm going to start some brown. When you're doing a flat wash, you want to make sure that you mix plenty of color, because if you don't mix enough and you run out, when you try to add more to your wash, it will miscolor it. So I'm starting out with some brown, going to add some red. So with your flat wash, make sure you got enough of your color, cover up your whole area you're going for. I'm just going to go ahead and, this is going to kind of be my base color for my pot. That's one of the things I really like about watercolor, is that you can add shadows just by adding more layers of color. You don't have to mix separate mixtures for your shadows. So I'm going to rinse off my brush, dry it off. I've got a little bit of extra pigment down here, so I'm going to use my brush to just kind of absorb that, take it off the page so that I don't end up with a dark spot down there where I don't want one. Alright, now as I'm going to wait for that section to dry, I'm going to go ahead and start painting my leaves up here. So this is just going to kind of be our base coat for our leaves. Alright, our base coat is pretty much dried on our pot down here, so now I'm going to come in with my same color that I already mixed. It's still wet down here, and I'm going to layer in some shadows. My pot is backlit by this window, so the shadow is kind of right on the front of it. An interesting thing with watercolor is just how you kind of lay your base coats and then jump around to other plants and things, or other parts of your work. So these flowers are white. I'm going to take just a tiny bit of black and super water it down, make a really faint gray to shade them with. I'm going to do my background. My backdrop here is just this black countertop. I'm just going to start with some black, water down to make it grayish. Remember, it's always going to dry lighter than it looks. Just going to do another flat wash for this part. Just spread your flat wash quickly and evenly so that you don't get a bunch of lines in it. It's probably a good idea to use a bigger brush if you're doing an area that's larger like this.